Authorities in Australia now say at least 16 people were killed and 40 are injured following a mass shooting in the Sydney suburb of Bondi Beach. A crowd was gathered at an event to celebrate the beginning of Hanukkah, and people could be seen scrambling for safety as they heard that gunfire. And in the chaos, a man, you're seeing it right there, tackled one of the two suspects, managed to grab his weapon. The shooter then ran away, and you see, that Good Samaritan there who actually fired off a couple shots as well. Two people can also be seen later on a bridge where they were shooting. Police say they also removed an explosive device from a car nearby, and one of the suspects is now dead while the other is in a life-threatening condition. It's unclear if the two suspected gunmen are included in the toll right now of 16 dead and many others injured. Authorities are calling the shooting a terrorist incident, and a short time ago, President Trump addressed the attack.
That was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously, and I just want to pay my respects to everybody, but to Australia and the Prime Minister, to everybody that we know so well, we get along with so well. We have a great relationship. That's a terrible situation going on over there. Think of that.
Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called the attack an act of evil. Here with me now for more perspective is CNN international anchor Lynda Kinkade. Lynda, great to see you. You grew up in the Sydney area. You know Bondi Beach well. And of course, tourists, it's a place where people flock. But give me an idea, how important this location is, especially this time of year.
I mean, this time of year, this is summer in Australia. It's beach, beautiful weather. It's one of Australia's most iconic beaches. It is the scene for festivals, for sporting events, cultural events, and it attracts tourists from all over the world. And this is one of those typical summer nights where there were a couple of major festivals, the Jewish community having this Hanukkah celebration, and all these young families out and about. And where the actual tragedy took place was in North Bondi, next to a playground, opposite a primary school and a whole stream of popular restaurants nearby. So it's a shock for it to happen in this beautiful part of the country.
And this has become a tradition, right? I mean, the celebration of the first night of Hanukkah at this location. I mean, talk to me about, I guess, the comfort level, how people have been feeling about this tradition.
So you're right, this is an event that does happen yearly, but more and more in the last couple of years, the Jewish community have been having smaller gatherings and have been, sending these invites out to the community, waiting for people to register for an event and then getting a text message on the day of the event telling them the location of the event. This was different.
So
this
they were treating it before
event.
as sort of a very private affair because there was a reluctance, a reticence, some discomfort.
A sense of unease. So ever since the Israeli-Gaza conflict began, the last couple of years, there has been a huge surge in hate crimes in Australia, right across the country.
Yeah.
There's been attacks on synagogues. One was firebombed in Melbourne late last year and destroyed. There's been attacks on schools, Jewish high schools, on homes that have been vandalized. And in the past year, there was 1,600 anti-Semitic incidents that were registered and reported. That's 3 times higher than the rate before the war began. So they've been dealing with this for a while.
So I also understand that the CEO, of the Australian Jewish Association described the shooting as an entirely foreseeable tragedy, saying that the Australian government had been warned many times about rising anti-Semitism threats. So how do you square that with the fact that there was a level of comfort among the Jewish community to say, we are going to have this at this location, we're going to let everybody know about it, only for something horrible like this to happen?
I think that's the big question, like where was the security? Why was this not one of those events where it was, it had a better feel and sense of organization around it? Because there has been this growing sense of unease for such a long time now, for a couple of years. Not just attacks on people in the Jewish community, there have been attacks on Arabs, Palestinians, anyone related or voicing concerns about the war between Israel and Gaza. there have been these growing, there's a surge, massive surge in hate crimes.
Yeah.
And so it was surprising that they didn't have more security there.
So just last hour, I spoke with Jonathan Greenblatt, and he was talking about how just last week, he and a number of other representatives of the Jewish communities around the world met in Australia. They were sharing stories about their comfort level, about what to do, preventative, measures, etc. And for that to take place, and there was a feeling of cohesion, and unifying, kind of spirit about how to deal, how to move forward, and then something like this would happen. What an incredible setback.
Yeah, exactly. This is kind of personal for me because my cousin is in Bondi. She lives in the region with her young family. She celebrates Hanukkah, and she decided with her family to go to a smaller event nearby with only a couple of 100 people because of those concerns in part. And I spoke to her. She was the first person I called this morning when I woke up to this news to see how she was doing.
Yeah.
And, she was in shock, obviously, but she's really concerned that this could cause more division going forward. She's just, she said there were frantic phone calls between everyone in their community to see everyone. It's a small community.
Yeah.
The Australian Jewish population is about 120,000.
Yeah.
50,000 of those people live in Sydney, most in the Bondi eastern suburbs region. And
at the same time, it seems like this, bystander who would take matters into his own hands, that says a lot too, about the culture of the community. And perhaps, is that kind of indicative or in step with how you think people feel in general in that Sydney area of like, we're going to take matters into our own hands.
Yeah.
We see something wrong happening, we're going to jump in, even at the risk of his own life.
And that was an absolute incredible act of bravery. To dive in there unarmed, tackle this gunman, take the gun off him. And this was a shop owner who, we're seeing that footage now. He owns a shop, a fruit store in the western suburbs of Sydney, and he was just in the region visiting, spending a nice summer afternoon in the area. And this is what he did. He saved countless lives, without doubt.
Surely did. All right. Lynda Kinkade, thank you so much. Thanks for bringing your personal experience to all of this and greater perspective about the community there, all that continues to go on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Fred.